that beer. Finish that beer
Finish it
now.
right now.
Drink the beer I don't like. Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying that disgusting? I hope the mic hears you slurping that beer up. I hope it does. Anyway, we're nice burp.
Yeah.
that's for all you people at home. So
That's just for authenticity that
It's
I
just-
actually drink it.
we will never sugarcoat our bodily functions for your benefit. If something grumbles down below and I can get the mic down there fast enough, you better believe it's happening. Maybe not that. We are very high class. And speaking of high class, we're going to talk about science. Yes, we're going to talk about...
Yeah.
Actually, we're not going to talk about science. We're going to talk about the science guy. So we're going to talk about... You guys see this new Bill Nye shit on
Bill.
Netflix? You know, Bill.
Bill Nye,
Bill Nye Science Guy. He's got this new show. I mean, I feel like we're beating it to death talking about it. But every time I want to talk about it because I'm pissed off about it like everybody else.
Yeah.
He got this new show on Netflix called Bill Nye Saves the World, which already is like this high level of ego and self-righteousness. Like, I'm Bill Nye the Science Advocate is what it should be called, and I'm going to save the world via Netflix and ice cream sex cartoons. Like all this bullshit. But it's getting a lot of flack.
That's because there's no actual science.
It's true. It's true.
There's maybe brief moments where there's science.
There's accidental.
But even then, the
science.
biggest science, and I'll talk about the first episode was climate change.
Yeah.
The biggest piece of science that I saw in that entire episode was when he said that liquids expand when they get warm. That's it.
They do
That's it.
not.
There's nothing else in it at
There
all.
was nothing
What was
else.
the rest of the episode?
He was talking about how if you deny climate change, you're just ignorant of fact. And that's it. That it was basically trying to prove the point that there are climate change deniers and they are wrong. It was nothing more than that. That was it.
So it wasn't explaining his side. It was just saying if you don't support my side,
Yeah.
you're a dumbass.
And he brought on 3 of his friends
of
to
course.
basically back him up.
Well, that's part of
and
the circle
say-
jerk these days. You get your bubble to come in and agree with you.
Well,
And
yeah.
Then you
well,
know.
it was even better than that, though. It basically made it to where this is just a dogmatic idea. So now we're going to talk about how do we stop it,
Yeah.
which is defeating the whole purpose of the episode, which was to talk about climate change. At this point, he's
You
saying,
mean
okay,
the denialism is the dogmatic idea.
well, no, like the dogmatic idea is that it is real. Therefore, how do we stop it? Like we shouldn't even go into is it real or not. It's obviously real. Now
Okay.
we should, and I'm not gonna say it's not real. I'm not claiming
Okay.
that.
I was
I'm
checking. I wasn't
I'm
sure.
just saying.
But I mean,
The
We're not.
entire
I
point.
just want
of
to point out we're
this-
not denying climate
No,
change,
I'm not.
but I do support your right to question it, and I think you should question, not necessarily question whether or not it's real. Question the research. That's part of science.
Yeah.
Don't take it at face value just because someone said these are the facts. That's not a scientific way to approach things. And I think that's a lot of the flack. I think a lot of people don't deny climate change. They simply question the research and want to see more. And suddenly, oh, well, you're a climate change denier. It's like, no, I just want to see where you got your shit. I just want you to back up
Yeah.
what you say. Don't
Yeah.
say Bill Nye went on CNN
Exactly.
and said climate change is real. And like it's these numbers and it's this and this only. And if you don't believe me, suck a dick. Like whatever
Yeah.
he said. Like
That's it.
I want to see it for I want to see the stuff myself. I don't want to take someone's word for it. I'm not denying it. I'm doing the
Right.
scientific thing and
you
questioning
just
it
want
further.
you just want the info.
I want clarification.
Right.
Yeah. Like part of the episode was he took a supermodel out to Venice, I think, the sea town in France or something.
Is
like
this
that.
still for climate change?
Yeah, this is the same episode.
Okay.
And they were talking about how the sea levels have risen and like how it's messed up the shops and whatnot.
Why was
and
the
what they're doing to
supermodel there?
same- because it's a TV show on Netflix.
Was she like
There's no good reason.
was she like those like supermodels that don't exist in movies where they're supermodels and like climate
I
scientists?
think she was a Victoria's Secret model.
Okay.
I think.
She's a climatologist.
Apparently.
Okay.
Well, it does, as long as you support it, you can be an idiot.
That's
It
true.
doesn't matter. She knows nothing about science, but it doesn't matter. The point is,
I bet Bill Nye was explaining to her. She was just like, "Wow,
Right.
I had no idea."
the point is, the whole episode was just about what do we do to combat this, and they were talking about how they combat it with like dams and shit in Venice. And then they were talking about, okay, now how do
Okay,
we
well, that
combat it
saves
here?
Venice.
Right. Now how do we combat it here? And they were like, oh, we need to have more green energy and all this other shit because we need to reduce carbon emission. And then that's about it. That was the whole damn episode.
So at the end of the episode, did Bill Nye have a definitive plan?
no.
So he didn't save the world.
No.
Well, that is strike 2. The first one's the title. The second one is the fact that he did not, in fact, save the world. It should be called
Did not.
Bill Nye,
Bill
the Science
Nye-
Advocate, attempts
Yeah.
to hypothesize potential ways in which to save the world.
Yeah, that's pretty
But that
pretty
doesn't fit on the bar
No.
when it's
It doesn't sound good.
it
either.
doesn't it's not catchy.
No.
It's not catchy.
Anyway, that was episode 1.
Yeah. And then of course I think the big one that got a lot of people talking was
Yes.
episode 9.
I think it's 8
episode
or 9.
the gender and sexuality episode.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that got a lot of people going, what the hell? I'm not going to play it. A, because I don't feel like searching for it. And B, I've heard it, I think, 3 times. And that's enough to make me question the existence of an afterlife. Because what higher being would let this song be made without hitting the studio with a meteor? But it's called, like, My Sex Junk 000.
Yeah.
This stupid... Go right now. Pause this. Because we'll wait for you all day, baby. Pause this. Open up a new tab. And look up My Sex Junk, like Bill Nye. And just find the result with, like, 2 million views. And, like, 3 likes on the like and dislike bar. And just watch it. Appreciate it for what it is. Take a shower, scrub your ears out with like acetone or something,
Right.
and then come back here and hit on pause, and we can continue. So I'm gonna let you go do that now. Pause it. Okay. I don't know why I did something so silly, but anyway, yes, it was just
Yeah.
it's all politics.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so,
all politics. And this is kind of where Bella's been waiting to jump in because what we're getting into is
Well,
that science has gotten very political.
So first of all, I want to say I have not actually seen the show, so I reserve my judgment until I actually have seen.
But you have
some
seen
of
You
it.
video
saw
from
Sex
But
Junk.
you have shown me this.
You've seen
that
some of the
video.
most glaring
You've
bits.
seen, so I've seen a selection of it, and that did seem
Right.
pretty egregious. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why they made that was a bit strange,
don't
but
know.
Because
um,
they flashed a check in front of Bill Nye's
Yeah,
face and
yeah,
said,
that
I'll
was-
give you this many
that was
to do this. And he said, fuck science. I want Netflix money. Anyway.
I guess I mean, so I understand what you guys are saying, and this is something I've heard before now about people who are sort of upset with the direction Bill Nye has gone. I think one way it's been described is he's sort of going the Richard Dawkins route of talking about science,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not so much that he's not really convincing anybody. He's not that doesn't already agree with him. He's sort of preaching to the choir in a sense. And I think
Mhm.
this Netflix show, I think the audience for it, such as it is anyone who watched his show growing up
Right.
and who happens to agree with his ideas and watches Netflix is going to watch this show.
Yeah.
But otherwise, outside of that, no one's going to watch it. So I don't think it's not really the kind of informative show that you'd want to watch. I think a better example of an informative show. Personally, I think the original Cosmos is the better of the
I'm
two
so glad you
Cosmos.
said original.
Yes.
Not the new
The
one.
second one is entertaining.
That's it.
I mean,
But-
it's not. It's for what we have now. It's not bad, but I do
Yeah,
think
compared to everything else, you're right.
I do think the original one is far more just it's sobering discussion
Yeah.
of the topics that he covers, but
Which it should be.
and I think it's certainly a better show to watch. But no, so really what's happening now, and that's sort of the point, is you see a lot of advocacy of science mixed with a political message in a lot of these shows. And I mean, personally, I don't have any problem with that because I think that if you are a public figure, you are, I mean, I'm not saying he's not allowed to do it.
Absolutely
Certainly
not.
not. It's just, is it the best way to go about making your case? I don't know. I mean, because again, politics has become so polarizing now that it's really hard to convince anyone who doesn't. There are sort of these encampments now that we've gotten ourselves into, where we all live in our own bubbles now. We sort of don't accept anything
Thanks,
outside.
Internet.
We sort of
Yeah.
right. The internet is a huge contributor to that because we can select our news now. We can select our socializations now. We can do all of this stuff to our
And you
own
can filter out detractors
right. We can
on top of that.
customize our own
Yeah.
experience on the internet, and it basically allows us in a way to feel like we're constructing our own reality. So it's very self-selecting. So, this is a big problem. And the other problem that I see is this sort of this not it's not a love of science, it's just scientism, really. Is
They
what
like
it
the
is.
idea of science.
Yeah.
They're sort of, it's sort of taking the process of really understanding science and just jumping to the conclusion of, well, it is claimed to be science, therefore it must be true, I must agree with it. It's sort of a lazy, sort of shallow understanding of science.
It's the church of science.
It's sort of like that.
It really is.
Close to it. Yeah.
And
The the scientists are now the speakers of gospel,
And so
Yeah.
if you go on a
and
page,
they accept it.
if you go on Facebook, if you go on a page like
Which you shouldn't do in church either. You should
like-
question everything, even if you are religious.
That's
Like
true.
read the book. Like
that's a
Right.
whole other topic on its own.
church,
Sure.
school, anything. Read the book.
Go on Facebook, look at the page I fucking love science, okay? If you go on there, you will see just it's not really an appreciation for science as it is an appreciation for Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye or somebody. It's not really about science. It's really more just about sort of saying, "Oh, we love science, don't we?" It is in a way sort of virtue signaling, actually, to use that. It's not really.
Oh, use it. I love that
Yeah,
phrase.
it's not really about. I really don't feel like it's really about liking science or about really understanding science. So yeah, I mean, just look at it. You'll get a sense of that. I think if you look at that Facebook page. I don't know what to say else really about it.
It
It's
gets
just-
pretty bad. And again, we're not disparaging the content. It's more the people around it. It's the like when you go to the science page, they do post scientific things. A lot of it is
Yeah.
pop culture-y, but they do post legitimate things. But those also don't get
like
them
the
more.
thing is
You can tell the state of the community when things that are actual. So you were showing us some earlier.
Yeah.
Actual scientific content gets like 500 likes,
yeah
and then like Neil deGrasse Tyson, a picture of him with like some meme impact font
yeah.
on a picture,
Yeah,
like
the meme-
200,000
the shitty
shares.
memes get
Yeah.
tons of likes, and
Right.
the actual science gets like no attention. at
Because
all.
you that's a surface. Everyone knows
Yeah.
text on a picture.
everyone if it's easily
It's mass appeal.
if it's easily
Yeah.
consumable, easily shareable, that gets more spread on Facebook than actual science does apparently. So
And on that note, we'd like to promise there will be only intellectual discussion here on this show, which you will see in about 10 or 15 minutes
Yeah.
when we go to a very bad place.
I'm
on
afraid the quota has been reached on
Yes.
on that.
I would like to say you're absolutely right on scientists or any public figure being entitled to their opinion,
Right,
whether
sure.
it's in private or in public. But I think the big
Right,
problem
the question
is
is
the
it
fact
effective? The
that
efficacy of doing that.
and then the fact that once you get a big enough following, you get that ego, and people are just like, I agree with you because you're you. You can start saying some batshit crazy
Yeah.
things, and people will just follow along because it's like, well, he's been right before, and he's famous, and like just celebrities' words always carry more
Like, it
weight,
sort
no
of-
matter what the words
Like it sort
are.
of goes both ways. They sort of become a symbiotic relationship. So like the following loves the followed, and then the followed becomes, well, I have this great following. So
Exactly.
So it sort of goes both ways.
I must be doing something right because
Right.
all these people love me, so
Right.
I'll say whatever
and
I
you
want.
see that all over the place. That's not exclusive.
Oh,
to
it's
this.
definitely not just
It's
exclusive to
everywhere.
scientists. It's
Yeah.
singers and actors.
Yeah,
They all
anyone.
say insane
Any public
things.
figure has the risk of
Yes.
that happen to them.
I think in science it's particularly dangerous because like an actor
Because we
or a
we really
musician,
hold
it's their
to-
job to
we hold-
entertain.
For scientists, we hold them to a different standard.
They're
though.
supposed to be a singer or an
Yes.
actor. Not supposed to be objective.
No,
They're
No.
to
they're
entertain
an entertainer
and
of
play
some kind.
characters or make music. But when a scientist, I think when a scientist gets that level of ego and that level of fame, it's very hard to be objective and just do your job. So, recognize scientists, give them the awards, the Nobels, and all that stuff. And when a scientist does a really great job, don't just say, okay, that's fine, get back to work, nerd. Go back to your lab.
Yeah.
But also, don't plop them in front of the camera on Fox News and ask them a bunch of leading questions or any news. Don't they need to be able to remain objective
Yeah.
Agreed.
because that's their job.
Right.
Totally.
Like they're messing with some world-changing stuff. They need to be focused and not just my millions of fans will surely love this.
We need them to be able, if they have to say something about the state of affairs in the world, we need to allow them to be able to come out and say those kinds of things without thinking, well, are you really, sort
Exactly.
of that's sort of where we're at now with
Yeah.
the way things are.
Well, so in other words, if we went, I would give Bill Nye 0 spumps. If I had to give him a beer rating, I'd give him 0 spumps
Right.
because the fact that there was a lyric talking about anal sex being evolution, I'm like, what is that shit? But
Right.
well, else we want to talk about? Let's talk about jobs,
Jobs.
workforce.
Oh yeah.
Something Derek and I have recently, but
Yeah.
hopefully only temporarily, have left.
Lost.
Yeah. Well, we both left. It's not like we were
Yeah.
fired.
This is true.
But let's talk about just some pitfalls, or just some bullshit. I don't know. Let's just
All right.
spout.
We can do that.
Especially because Derek and I, and Bella, in your past, you've mentioned some emails and stuff.
And you probably have gotten them too, I guess. You know, when
Probably.
I don't think I've gotten
yeah.
emails,
Well, when
or
you're-
I've ignored them.
Yeah, you probably ignore them. They're like your spam.
Yeah,
spam
let's-
folder.
Probably.
Let's talk
But-
about pyramid. Call them schemes, pyramid selling. I've heard it called multi-level marketing or something. Just
Some bullshit.
all
like that.
those things that basically boil down to you're going to work a shitty sales job.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just talk about them without giving names. I'm not here to shit talk
Sure,
companies or whatever.
sure.
Even though I'm sure if we get even vague enough, you still might know who's who. Like recently, I left my job after only a few weeks of being there.
Yeah.
It was a job where I was promised to promote, and I wasn't a salesman. I was going to promote products, and they were, it's just, you get paid the same no matter what. We don't care if you sell anything. We're just there to get the word out. The client makes money either way. And then it turns out I made like $7 an hour on top of commission. That
Mhm.
if my commission didn't exceed my hourly rate,
Oh yeah, so that was the thing that
if
lied to you
my
about.
commission didn't exceed my hourly rate, I didn't get any commission. But if my commission exceeded my hourly rate, I didn't get the hourly rate. So I basically made one or the other. And it was
Okay.
just, but they're still like, you're not a salesman, you're a promoter. I'm just like, then how come I don't make dick?
Well, like, it's what you had said before was when they first were selling you on this job, they said, okay, you're gonna make like $600 a week, okay,
600 to 800 a week.
Yeah.
With bonuses.
with bonuses, yeah.
Bonuses on top of the 600 to 800.
And then when you go in for 2 weeks, they're like, yeah, can you sign this contract? What's actually gonna happen is you're gonna get half that,
Yeah.
and then the other half is only if you exceed that.
after my train, that's
Yeah.
what they meant. After my training was done, and I was starting out actually in these retail
Yeah.
stores where you sell things.
Yeah.
It was the weekend before that, and they're like, we never got you your payroll paperwork, and I'm like, you're right, I've been wondering about that. And we go and get it, and like I'm doing it all online. It's not even in person. It's like, go to this website and it has all this paperwork. I'm like, okay. And it's like, you make dick an hour and you get dick commission, and you don't get any health benefits. You get a health marketplace discount. I'm just like,
Nice.
I'm not waking up every day
Right.
to drive out like half an hour, 40-minute commute to go to meetings every morning where you let me say this right now before I forget. If you get a job and the meeting room doesn't have chairs, quit.
There were no chairs in the meeting
No,
room.
because they said standing makes you more focused, and after 2 weeks of standing in these meetings, I will tell you, standing during meetings does make you more focused on how much you love to sit down.
Was there a table around this?
No.
No. What
And we
the
had to
hell?
take notes every day. So you're like sitting here with your notebook like on your
On your
arm or like
forearm.
on your thigh scribbling. I'm just like, what kind of ineffective new age? Like
Okay, hey, look.
it did make you focus, but make you focus on how badly you wanted a chair.
Seth, if
And a
I had
desk.
known at that time that I was standing in a standing meeting room,
Yes.
at that time I would have thought immediately sketch. Okay, I would not have thought.
Looking
This
back,
makes sense.
the red flags were there from interview one. I was just so excited
Right.
to get an offer. Like I was working retail for like 6 months before this, and don't get me wrong, I love that job, but it wasn't start my own life money. It was I can live with someone else and not have to worry about too much money and occasionally have fun. It wasn't independence money. So I had to leave, and they were the first place to call me after several failed applications. So I was just excited to get something, which for the first couple of weeks clouded my judgment. Then it all started to clear up, and I'm like,
Right.
But Derek, you recently had something like this
Yeah.
happen to you.
A guy that I used to work with, we both ended up quitting around the same time the previous jobs. And I'm walking around the store of Lowe's, and he gives me a
establishment.
great place. And he calls me and says, "Hey, I got this job that I just had, and I'm curious if you're interested in it also." Which automatically I'm like kind of on edge because I don't like, committing to things that I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
But he said, "I think you'd be really good at it, and I got my boss right here next to me. He'd love to like schedule you for an interview and all this crap."
It's very
And
convenient.
yeah, I know. And I was just like, this is moving way too fast.
It's like a girl wants to get married after the second date.
So, like, he hands the phone over to his boss, and his boss has asked me all this shit of just, like, am I going to school? Am I doing all this? And the reason why he's trying to ask me all these things is he's trying to promote the company, which will not be named, of how good it is. And he knew that I was in school, and he said, "Oh, well, we offer scholarships and all this other stuff too. Just try and sweeten the pot of what all's going on." And the more I got into it, the more he's just like, "You're really great. I'd love to have you schedule an interview." And he wanted me there later that day.
Yeah, that's a little. I got the call the weekend before.
Yeah.
I got called on a Friday, interviewed on a Monday, so it was a similar thing like that.
Like, he called me on a Friday, and he wanted me, and this was at like noon. He wanted me there by like 3 o'clock.
Why isn't he working?
Like
at noon.
I mean, it's just kind of weird.
Just chilling.
It just threw up all. It just sounded so weird. And then I went home, and that's when I started like researching the company name, and that's when this thing popped up. Essentially, the whole pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Which is basically, if you think of a pyramid, you have the person up top,
the Illuminati.
Yeah, who then is your initial investor,
mm-hmm.
who then recruits more people, who they recruit more people, and it's just a big pyramid.
Yeah.
And eventually someone's going to get screwed.
Well, it's unsustainable. If you look at the model,
yes.
The fact that you have to recruit so many people.
Yes.
I saw one model where in order to have like only 6 people at the top, you had to have more people at the bottom than the population of Earth.
Yes.
Like there's just it's unsustainable when you start breaking it down by
when
numbers.
you start putting the numbers into the actual equation, and it doesn't make sense. But
people at the top couple layers, they make some fat cash.
Oh yeah, because they're getting a cut from everyone below them.
Yeah.
Everyone below them.
Yeah. The place I was working at was similar.
Yeah.
It was you work you work so much, you get promoted, and then once you get promoted, the boss who promoted you gets 3% of whatever you make.
Okay.
But it's on the client's end, so it's almost like they get money for promoting and recruiting people.
Right.
So like it sounded a lot cleaner than just and the people under you and the people will be working under you. Like it sounded like it had more finesse. But when you break it down, it's trying to quickly promote people in they're trying to fast track less than a year running your own business, by the way. Which at first I was like, bitching. I'll be my own boss in a year. And then I started thinking about it, I'm just like, there's a lot of shit I don't know. How am I going to be doing this in 10 months? And then like as soon as I get promoted, like this person starts making money off me just because they are the ones responsible for promoting me. Like that sounds weird.
Well, this job was even more weird because it was, and he said about 4 different times, you are not a door-to-door salesman, but you are responsible for moving whatever product you purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Which, let me just restate that.
You purchased the product. At least at mine, you didn't have to purchase the product.
And then you
it wasn't as blatant about how shady it was.
Like, why would I ever do that? I buy something, I sell it, and then I report how much I sold it for, and I give you some of it.
It's ridiculous.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Or you recruit people under you to sell it for you, and you make all the money.
And then I just have all kinds of fun income coming in.
Dumb. Belle, you said you got emails.
Yeah, I would get emails from
like when you said you were in college, so a few years ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, and they were just the sketchiest emails. They weren't from anyone I knew. They would just say hello.
How'd they get your email?
Well, that's the weird thing. I don't even know how they got a hold of it. Like, it must have just been mass emails
to every student.
That would be the only way it could have worked.
Was it your student email?
It was my student email.
Oh, that's even worse. How'd they
even
get your student
right?
email?
So it would just be stuff like, "Hi, I have this offer for a great lack of punctuation job."
Do you picture them talking that robotically?
Yeah, like it was that bad. Like it wasn't a person writing this email. Obviously, it was a mass generated email where it was obvious. Like they're saying, "This is a great position to be in. You make space $600 dollars," and it's like, no, you're not real. That's bullshit. And you have to be careful when if you ever are email a job offer, immediately be suspicious. Like,
yes,
who's going?
If you don't have the decency to call me.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't look for it, and someone comes to you in an email, in your spam email, even don't even for a minute assume that it's legitimate, because it's probably not. Do your research and definitely don't get hoodwinked. The best thing you
hoodwinked.
should do,
that's the word of the day.
I mean, that's really what it is.
Word of the day.
Well, at the end of the day, that's all it really is. But what you should definitely be careful about, if you're ever looking at a place, you have to make sure, look at the Glassdoor reviews
always
of any company.
I've left a couple. I've done a couple in my day.
That is definitely the most important thing to look at. among many things, you should definitely check just what are employees who have worked at that place actually saying about the place.
I will.
Right.
I will
That's the
add
most
something.
honest thing
I will
about it.
add something to that real quick. Don't always trust. In my case, especially recently, don't always trust reviews from current employees.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Especially when suspiciously there's like 5 of them within like a week
Like
Right.
they know
of each other. If especially with somewhere that's rated low and you just suddenly see a bunch of 5-star reviews from current employees and it says things like actualize your potential in this fast pace. I'm like, did your boss sit over your shoulder and like dictate what you're writing in your review?
Or did the boss just write it himself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that being said, though, Glassdoor, great resource.
Yeah,
Always Glassdoor.
definitely.
I would
Yeah.
recommend this because they do you have to make an account and stuff. But I would actually recommend making an account so you can access everything. It's really useful tool. And when you make an account, you can post your own reviews.
Yeah.
So we're not doing this just to vent, though. I'd say to be fair, this is our civic duty as broadcasters and message bringers to give you the war. So what are some just warning signs of
Next day interview.
next day interview, or in my
Would be
case,
one of 'em.
call on a Friday, going on a Monday because it might not be open.
Yeah.
So like immediately afterward interviews. I would say one of mine that at first I was like, oh, they're fast paced and looking to expand. But then looking back and reading some other reviews where people have the same opinion, I was like, that is kind of weird. If you're sitting in their lobby with 3 other people getting ready to be interviewed, and they're all getting interviewed within like an hour, and there's someone on the phone calling and scheduling 4 more interviews while you're sitting in the room, that's a
Yeah.
look upon that with suspicion.
I'll just say this: if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true.
And that, as cliche as that sounds,
Yeah.
it's
It really
cliched.
is.
It's cliched because it is true. It really is.
Would you go so far as to say anything that's associated with sales? Like look into it.
I would say sales you have to be the most careful of.
Yeah.
Like sales is a legit position.
Sure.
And there are people who make a buttload of money because they are good salesmen. There's a lot of companies that treat salesmen really well.
Right.
But I would say sales is one of the easiest ways to dupe people.
Right.
Just the nature of the work. Because if you do a shitty job, they can just blame, or if something doesn't work out because it is a shitty job, they can just blame you. It's like, well, you're not a good enough salesman or something like, or they can just, there's so many things that can get thrown. You can get thrown under the bus so easily in sales, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
be extra wary of sales, but don't avoid sales.
Sure.
A lot of people I knew a guy that worked at a place, will not be named. They wear blue polos and sell computers. Back when they did, I don't think they do commission anymore. Back when they did, I believe they used to do commission. He made, because he was just good at his job and he knew his stuff, and they treated him well.
Right.
Like, you can make good money doing commission sales, but I would definitely be super careful, especially. I'm pointing at Derek. If you people listening at home can't see this, but I'm pointing right at him. If they want you to buy your own shit,
Yeah.
in your case, that is definitely
Right.
If someone wants to buy the product,
Right.
want you to buy the product, they've already made their dime.
Exactly. It
They made
doesn't
their money
matter
off
if I
you.
sell it.
They don't. It doesn't matter if you sell it or not, because they already made their money off you. You dupe. So don't do
Well,
that.
the best part though is even if I do sell it, they make money off of that.
Exactly. They make money twice.
So it's like
You've made money once,
know.
and you
I've
might not even
bought
made
it.
that much money because you're trying to now sell yourself out of a hole.
I bought it for markup that I
Exactly.
then sell for more markup that I
Exactly.
then return to them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like
it definitely though. If it seems too good to be true,
Why?
like you'll be running you can go wherever you want, run your own thing within 10 months.
Sure.
It's just like, no, you won't. You really won't.
What should have
Not
tipped
really.
you off was the person who had been there for a year who had not done that.
yeah.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
someone's been there for a year and they're not in that position, it's like,
Hold on.
what the fuck's your problem?
Yeah.
or the fact that when all these people who are like, I wouldn't say young employees is a red flag, but if it is something just full of young people, like everybody on every level is young, maybe take that into consideration, that there might be some naivete going on and stuff, especially when all your coworkers think they're gonna be making millions of dollars on commission sales and potentially running stuff. Like there's a lot of things to look out for. But yeah, quickly scheduled interviews,
Yeah.
rapid scheduled interviews, like while you're sitting in the room, emails, buying your own product. What else is there? Is there anything else, or is that a good primer? No chairs in the meeting space. There's chairs in the lobby. Why don't I have to stand in the lobby? I'll focus more if I'm standing in the lobby. So
Yeah.
bring those chairs, put them in the meeting room. thing. I should just dragged a chair in there with me just to been a dumbass.
Yeah.
Just
you
been
know.
like, no, I think I'll sit so I can actually listen to you. Thank
Right,
you,
right.
but whatever. But I don't know.
They just didn't want to buy chairs.
They just didn't want to. We just don't have anywhere to store these chairs. I just want to be like, how come there's chairs in your office? Don't you pay more attention during interviews when you're standing?
Yeah.
Like, this is a chair-free work zone.
Right.
You ass.
Right.
Yeah, so just be careful of
Just be careful.
job
Yeah.
offers you get through emails or job offering listings on, I don't know, Craigslist even, you know?
Ooh,
It's like,
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
What a totally not forced segue.
Yeah, definitely not.
But it is that time.
You know, I've heard you can buy anything on Craigslist.
You can buy anything on Craigslist. Occasionally, even love.
Oh.
So this is something we're gonna do every week because
Yeah.
Bella and I, Derek, we care about you.
Okay.
We care about your life, care about your personal life.
Okay.
We want to help you.
We want to help you.
I'm glad.
And we want to help ourselves and our audience in the meantime, because why not kill like 18,000 birds with one? I'm being enthusiastic. I don't know how many people.
We'll have
listen
at
to this
least
shit.
that many
At
subscribers.
least that many. We're gonna have that many patrons. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but it's become apparent, Derek, that you've given up.
Yes.
You've given
Sure.
up.
Well,
And
yeah.
what does anyone who's given up on love do? They turn to the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's what we're gonna do. Every week, I'm gonna try to play matchmaker.
Okay.
And we're going to play, what's that old thing, the dating game where you're behind a screen with 3 guests and you got to ask them questions or something? We're all young. We don't know this show.
No.
We don't watch dating. We watch like The Bachelor. There's no roses. You're not giving
The
any.
love connection.
You're not
I
giving any
don't know.
wannabe models and
I don't
porn
know
stars roses. What we're going to do is I'm going to read you 3 entries.
Like, let's make a date. Is that the name of
That might have
Oh,
been
sure.
Is that it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or is
Fine.
that the Who's Line version of the show?
I
don't
believe
know.
that is
Yeah,
the
it
whose
might-
line is it
it is
anyway?
actually it.
However,
That is right.
however,
It's the same idea.
concept. So here's what we're gonna do. I am going to be reading you 3 entries,
All right.
and just for the sake, because I don't want anything to get too attached too quickly.
Okay.
What's your things go? It's going to be the casual encounter section.
Ooh.
Women for men, because
Thank you.
you like the ladies.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you 3.
Okay.
You're going to tell everyone at home and us
Yeah.
which one you would select
Okay.
and why.
All right.
Yes. So here's the first one. I'll read you the title and the description, and you'll give me your answer. Some reactions in between, of course, but don't give me your answer until all 3 have been read.
Okay.
Until I describe the environment to the viewers at home. We'll start doing some Falconhoof stuff.
Right.
So the first one, title. I need someone to come eat this pussy ASAP. And the reason I like this one is because she's in a hurry, so she has a very short description. I need someone to come eat this pussy ASAP. She hasn't been touched in that way in a long time. If you're interested, send me and email. So, and it's if you are, like the letters you are. So it's
Uh-huh.
very short and sweet because she is in a hurry. You must eat it ASAP.
I guess.
The first one. Or the second one, very sorry. The first one was the one I just read. I'm very professional.
Okay.
Teach me to give a porn star quality blowjob.
Oh.
I'm picturing something like we meet up and you order me to strip for me.
Oh.
Order me to strip for me. I think it means strip for you.
Oh. Okay.
As I
Unless you're stripping.
I don't know.
as I undress you, why would they?
You're stripping.
I'm confused at
I
who's
don't
stripping
know
for
what's
whom.
going on here.
But anyway, call me a slut and tell me what you're going to do to me.
Oh man.
You'll inspect my body and order me to my knees and tell me to get your cock out. So she's doing it for you.
Okay.
I'll unbuckle and pull your pants down, and your semi-hard cock will spring out, very enthusiastic. I'll start to lick and suck your cock and balls. As you get fully hard, I'll try to take you all the way down. I may gag some. You'll eventually grab my head and push me down farther. Tears will be rolling down my face.
Oh man.
When I resist enough, you'll let me off to catch my breath. But as soon as my lips are back on your cock, you'll take control again and force me to take your dick all the way, perhaps holding me while I gag and choke around you. If I reach to wipe away a tear or push back, you'll pull my hands away. I get a little control of when I come up for air, but you'll make me struggle a little. When you're ready to come, you'll hold my head down and come at the back of my throat. I'll feel the warm saltiness of your thick load running down the back of my throat. We'll part ways and have another training session if you wish. If you're interested, write back and tell me why I should pick you. As opposed to the other, which is short and sweet. The one was very colorful.
Yeah.
Lots of good language. But
You can really visualize.
I
that.
know.
I'd
That
also
was
like to point
just
out that everyone
crazy.
I'm reading is on the St. Louis page. So these are, we will find you love. It's not like this is someone in New York.
right.
Are you ready for our third entry?
Sure.
Any dads want to teach their son,
What?
Seeking a fun experience. It rained the past few days, and now the sun is out, but still some flooding going on. You don't need that kind of background. So naturally, I need to fuck somebody. I am a very good-looking 33-year-old white in shape female looking for an experience here. I wanting to know if there are any dads out there wanting to teach their son how to fuck a woman right.
What the
You must be clean. I am not looking for male-on-male shit. Just you teaching your son how to please a woman.
That is so
Now,
weird.
here is the issue, and I've thought about this. You are not with child,
No.
but you do have a dad.
Oh my god.
Perhaps our dear uncle would like to take you to meet this one in St. Charles, where I went to school. Very nice
I
town.
cannot even put into words how no that
Maybe
scenario
we could
is.
reverse it, and you just show your dad how to. So
Be
it's
like,
actually you
Dad,
doing it.
I don't need you to teach me. Watch this, and he just
Is that better?
He
No.
spumps.
Is your dad
That is
watches
zero
Is
this?
there
better.
any way to make this better and have your dad be there?
Hell no.
Okay, so if you had to pick between eating ASAP, very detailed blowjob, and dad and son
Well,
teaching,
the
which
number
one?
3 is horrible.
So is that a no?
That would be a no.
I don't
That's-
understand.
Oh, really?
I don't understand.
Well, it's easy for you.
Why?
You
'Cause I
don't know
ha-
who your dad
Because I don't
is.
have a dad. We're not supposed to get that personal on the show. Why would you? I'm just fucking with you. I don't give a shit. Okay, so eating ASAP or teaching someone to give an awesome blowjob.
I would think blowjob.
Okay,
Kind of, yeah, kind of leaning
are
towards
we locking
that
in
one.
number 2?
Yeah.
All right, audience, for those of you at home, I'd like to let you know it is on record. Derek has locked in with choice number 2. Now, here's the second part of the game I didn't tell you about.
Oh, great.
Of these 3, which one was written by a man?
Oh, God. It's going to be number 2. Number one
Which
specifically
Which
said
one?
it's going to be 2.
It's gonna be 2.
It's got to be number 2.
Here's why you didn't know. I didn't read the first paragraph.
Yeah.
The first paragraph, that's the one about the porn star quality blowjob. I'm a 31-year-old bi-curious single white male and have been bi-curious for a while. My last GF was an expert cocksucker and could take a very rough, deep throat face fuck. I want to
God.
learn to do that, to see what I put her through and see if I can do better.
Oh, fuck.
Derek's gonna get blown by a dude.
Hey, I mean, here's the thing, Derek. Okay, I mean, you'll
He
get.
seems enthusiastic.
I
He'll
mean,
probably do a
Derek,
good
here's the thing.
job.
Think of it this way. Okay, think of it this way. Okay, what's wrong with you getting
Everything.
What's wrong with getting a blowjob from a woman?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, well, it's just someone sucking on your
No,
dick,
it's not the same.
right? I mean, here's the thing.
I wouldn't know, but it's not the same thing.
How do you know? You
When-
don't know.
When
You
his,
don't.
when his
look,
mustache
look.
tickles his dick.
Don't.
Yeah,
don't
that'll probably
knock
do part of it.
Don't knock it until you try it. Okay.
No,
As
I'm not
soon
going
as
to
he
try
feels
it.
the whiskers on his penis. That's when he knows something's amiss.
Something is
He could be
wrong.
shaven. You never know.
I would like to
There's
remind
a
everyone
very
at home
wrong
still.
thing.
Here's the third part. Would you like to change your answer?
Yes.
Too bad there is no third part. Now I would like to let Derek especially know, but everyone home. A lot of the times it will be written by 3 women. I thought, what's on Man for Man? Maybe I'll get a funny one. And then I saw this one where if you didn't read the first
Very
paragraph,
descriptive.
there were no gender things in the
Right.
second paragraph.
Right.
So it sounded like a woman who really wanted to get face fucked. It's a guy
Yeah.
who's older than you
Yeah.
and lives, I don't remember where, it was in Illinois, but close. So
You know, deep down, I questioned: is one of these going to be a dude?
go with your
Wasn't
gut.
sure if we'd do that on episode 1,
Oh,
but
of course we would.
we did.
Episode Phantom Menace was a mess. Why can't this episode be?
Yeah, I
If
guess
George
so.
Lucas can get away with it, I can. But that is the segment that will not be named because we don't have a name for it. Finding Love on Craigslist. I think next week we might try Fuck, Marry, Kill, where 2 of your choices will
right.
involve you, and then 1 will involve murder. But
Yeah.
2 will involve companionship in one way or
Sure.
another.
Sure.
But we are almost 40 minutes in, so I'd say we're winding down on time. So I want to just plug something. The 3 of us and then my fiance and my friend Austin, who I've known since I was like 7 or 8 years old, and then his brother. We all started playing D&D back in like January. Like we did the beginners campaign like last summer, and then just it fell through. We didn't finish it, and then like starting in January, we started playing legit D&D. It's the first time any of us have really done this. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And Saturday, fingers crossed, we're starting a new campaign. For those of you familiar with D&D, we just finished the very sandboxy and, according to some people, very difficult Princes of the Apocalypse, which I was the dungeon master for. Now we're going to do 5th edition's first campaign. Oh crap, Horde of the Dragon Queen. I forgot the name of it. And I will not be DMing. I will be a player because I don't want to DM every time, especially because I'm writing my own campaign while this is going on to work with our characters from Princes of the Apocalypse. So we can do some high-level shenanigans. So I'm going to be a player, and my friend Austin will be DMing. The reason we're telling you this is because I think because we have a fourth mic right here. It's very, very sensitive. It's good for picking up multiple voices. So we are going to record that shit. We'll still be doing our podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, every weekend. But every other week, hopefully, we'll be able to throw in some D&D and stuff. So if you're into that and you want to hear our D&D adventures, tune in. So just to give you a little taste, we're just going to tell you what we're playing. So Derek, just give them a taste. What are they in for? What are our characters going to be like?
Well, my character is a bird, and he is a gunslinging bird. He's a far traveler who I believe has lost an elven friend.
I believe that's your
hook. That's
yes.
my way into the quest.
Yeah.
And
but here's what everybody really wants to know.
Yeah.
What's your name, Birdman?
Well, I'll read off my phone because it's rather complex.
He can't remember his own name.
Well, it is like all vowels. Kwak Hawaka Waku Nanabazo.
Nanabazo.
It's amazing.
We would like to let you know there is a historical context to that name.
There actually.
It's like a Native American tribe and then like a Native American creationist god type thing.
Mm-hmm.
They like worship birds and or created thunderbirds and stuff. So it's not just like we face roll the keyboard. We would never do that.
No.
Ever. And what's your guy do? Does he fight? Does he shoot?
Yeah, he's a gunslinger.
He's a gunslinger. What's that mean?
Shoots shit.
Yeah, he's also not a gunslinger. He's a gunsmith.
What the fuck ever.
He slings nothing.
He still has a gun.
He does still have a gun. He still have a gun. And going off that creative bit, let's go to Bella, who you might find some similarities with.
So here's the thing: we were both.
There were a lot of toss-ups between who wanted to be what class.
I was going to possibly just be a wizard again. I actually thought about it at first, but I thought that's kind of boring. I want to do something different.
Well, you could have done different school.
So, I didn't. I just didn't want to do it again. It was too similar to me, I thought.
That's true.
So I wanted to do something different. So we both found out about the gunsmith independently and both chose it, and now we're just both gunsmiths.
Yes. What's your dude?
I am an elven character named.
I believe you're a high elf.
Elf, that's right. Named Beck the Volt Striker.
The Volt Striker.
Yeah.
Very, very intimidating.
So yes,
why does he have such a scary name?
So here's the actual reason behind it. So, look, I like video games. I like anime.
Weeaboo.
So I combined
We're
the
all
two.
weeaboos.
I combined the two. So it's Vash Stampede from Trigun mixed with 2 video games.
Mm-hmm.
Beck from Mighty Number 9 and a Zero Striker Gunvolt.
I thought you meant Beck from Big O.
Well, I was thinking it too.
That's what I thought you were going to be.
I also tied that because I like Beck a lot from that game.
Yeah.
So it was actually 2 references in one. So it's all of that put together. I'm kind of unfortunate for Mighty Number 9. That wasn't a very good game, but that's beside
You can be
the
Beck
point.
from Big O.
Yeah, Beck from Big O.
You can wear like a yellow suit and be awesome.
Yeah, I can. It'll be cool. So that's the name for it. And yeah, we're just gonna have electric guns and we're gonna be shooting shit. It's gonna be fun.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So my character's Hook. I guess I have to put the Hook in too.
Sure.
He's some bounty hunter and he has a debt he has to pay off, and that's pretty much his tie into the story. He has to find some way to pay it off. That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
My character, for you D&D purists, I'm not playing an official race. I am playing a skeleton. Our DM Austin and I scoured the internet looking for a balanced guide on playing undead, and we saw a very professionally made one. There's a program that actually looks like the books that you can type in, and it had undead in 3 paths, one of which was a skeleton. And it seemed very balanced, because some were just blatantly overpowered, like you never die and you have resistance to all this damage. It's like, I just want something balanced but playable. and we found one. So I'm a skeleton bard named Skali, which is the Norse word for bald. It's theorized that's where the word skull came from. And I'm not going to go into my backstory too much because it's sort of tragic and it's sort of a twist type thing. We'll just say I have a list of names of people I'd very, very much like to find. And he's someone who was killed, only been a skeleton for a month or two, and often forgets he's a skeleton, but is very charismatic. And I can also use my arm as a bludgeoning weapon.
Now, I know you probably haven't thought of this, but to anyone listening to this, they're going to think that you're a comical skeleton character.
Pretty much.
They're going to think it's probably just because everything has been poisoned by this now. They'll probably think it's an Undertale reference, only because.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
They probably would.
Let me dispel that.
You're not Sans.
I've never played
this
Undertale.
game, so he doesn't know.
I've listened to the music. I've watched it be streamed. I do think it has a cool soundtrack.
Yeah.
I've never played it. And honestly, I didn't even think... What's the other skeleton? Papyrus?
Papyrus, yeah.
I didn't even think about that being a crossover thing until you said it just now. I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
So no, I have a slight skeleton obsession. I don't know why I think skeletons are so cool.
I mean, you've
but
always liked skeletons.
I
That's
love
always been your thing.
skeletons. Skeletons and crabs. I wish crabs could be skeletons. Just so I could have a skeleton or a skeleton octopus or something. But I can't. But skeletons are cool. I wanted to play as a skeleton. You will hear my instrument. I actually bought an instrument. I got a $4 child's trumpet from Toys R Us. The little plungers, or whatever they're calling trumpet, do nothing. But it does make a beautiful sound.
Now, the good thing about that is, Seth, is you got not just one, but like 3 instruments now.
2.
Well, you got another one too.
Yeah, it was a recorder that actually is functional. It's a bright red plastic recorder.
Now, the other part of that
I cannot play.
Both me and Derek's characters are capable of using instruments and own
Your
instruments.
backgrounds, I believe, allowed you to play instruments.
So what we're going to do is, in this campaign, all of us are going to, whenever we go to an inn, gather in song and play for the inn.
Which actually is relevant to my character because my background is if I play at an inn, we get to stay for free.
That's right.
And you guys can join me.
It's just gonna be a wonderful experience. We're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Our out of tune instruments, and it's just gonna be great.
I think I have a drum. I don't remember though. I think I'm.
You can get like cheap child drums in the same section I did,
like
and
bongos.
Well, you can get bongos, or they'll have like a little snare drum, and you unscrew it, and like cymbals and stuff come out. And like we can do a Toys R Us run sometime and try to find it. Or you can get like a child's ukulele for really cheap and stuff like, or those really annoying colorful xylophones that kids have. And then we have a monk joining us. I think he's the only human in our campaign. It's gonna be our DM's brother, and he's grapple focused, which there's a lot of controversy about that because a lot of people say, "Oh, grappling in the feet sucks." I think it's really good because when you grapple and you bring someone to the ground, you can incapacitate them. Your friends get advantage on stuff. It's really fun. And then, did you want to talk about it, or do you want me to describe it? I'll do it. I'll do it. My fiance's standing right next to me, and she's too nervous to talk on mic. She is well, technically, you're not a Zora. That's how you're drawn and stuff. But for those of you that have only gotten the core books, you need to go look at Volo's Guide of For Monsters or of Monsters. It has a bunch of different raids you can play. She's playing a Triton, so basically a merfolk, and she's a merfolk with the background of a pirate, and her class is barbarian. So actually she sees this plundering petite sea wench, and then when she rages and gets mad, she goes and kills things with her great axe. So it's going to be an interesting campaign, and she has a tiny mechanical crab she got from her dad and stuff. We have a lot of interesting quirks and stuff we'll get into later in the campaign. But the point is, it's going to be a good campaign. We're going to kill dragon cultists. We're going to try to stop, the mother of like dragons or evil dragons or whatever from rising again. And just if you want to listen to that, listen to that. And if you don't, we'll screw you too. Yeah. I don't want you to listen to it anyway. But I think we're getting low on time.
Yeah. So
I think what we're going to do is we're going to end it here. I want to thank you very much for joining us on our inaugural episode. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it is not the last episode because that would be a short venture.
Yeah.
But we're going to be coming to you once a week on weekends.
Episode 1, greatest episode.
Yeah. Episode 1, greatest episode. Yes.
Sure.
It all goes downhill from here. We don't climb the mountain and go down. We started at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And just jumped. It's not even a mountain, it's a cliff.
Yep.
You just jump off the precipice.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm Seth.
I'm Derek.
I'm Bella.
And we will see you next week.